Good morning. Not that you can see me very well. Let's try to fix that. Just so you know, my tripod is broken. And that makes things a little bit difficult from time to time. Sorry you can't see me. Now let's see how that goes. Let's see how crooked it is. Oh, yeah, that's way too crooked. Hold on, let me try again. Boy. Alright, let me see. So, I like to do daily sourdough loaves, and anyway, I was gonna measure, oh, there's my scale. Here it is. Who knows if it has good batteries in it or not? We'll see. Oh, we do. We have good batteries. And I'm going to just use grams like normal. Gotta zero it out now because I turned it on before I put my thing on there, but that's okay. Alright. My younger kids probably think I'm a little bit crazy just standing in the kitchen talking to myself all the time. Because, truth be told, a lot of these silent videos or the ones that I have music over, I am talking to y'all the whole time. I get kind of stage fright, you know, because I'm like, they don't want to hear about that. But maybe y'all do. I don't know. I haven't really been doing this long enough to justify knowing what you would like and what you wouldn't like. I had a question a couple of weeks ago. It was on Facebook. I was making sourdough bread. That was pretty much the gist of the video. And a lady said, "What's your sourdough recipe?" A majority of my recipes come from a farmhouseonboone.com. You're probably not going to find a whole lot of new recipes from me because, to be completely honest, if I create something new, it's not because I planned it. I simply said, hey, you know what? I think this will go good in this. And so I throw it in there. But yeah, that's what I do. And sometimes I remember what I did and I remember how much I put in there. But don't ask me. I know I'm the girl that cooked it. I know I'm the one that threw all the ingredients in. Nobody helped me. But I have no idea. Yeah. And for this recipe, this is her same-day sourdough recipe. I use this every single day. Now, I say every single day.
My eye got red, but I had eye drops in it.
Necessary information for the day. But I know I'm rambling. I just don't know what else to talk about. I try really hard to keep everything together, but my hands are not the only hands in here.
See, I have this cup. It's a Snoopy fall cup.
It's a Snoopy fall cup.
Yeah, and I think
I don't remember what his name is. I can never remember the bird's name.
I thought it was like peanut or something.
No. The Peanut Gang is the name of the Charlie Brown and Friends. Also, if anybody was wondering, this poor scale has been through the ringer. It has been dropped. It has been drowned. It has had wax poured all over it. It's had, I got it from Walmart. I don't know that it was the cheapest one I could have got, but it was close. And I just want to tell you, it is still alive.
See? Yummy coffee.
Will you throw this away?
Did you just use a whole one of that?
Well, the rest of it.
Sorry, phone. I just kicked the tripod.
Did y'all just have an earthquake? Also, I never measure my salt, except with my heart.
Yeah, that's what I do too.
And it seems to work out just fine.
She doesn't sleep like a hawk.
I don't sleep like a hawk.
Or a pig.
Or a pig. No, I do not sleep like a pig.
What you making us today?
Some sourdough bread.
I don't like shots in my cups.
You don't like
Like that.
shops in your cows.
Like
I chilled your garden. And
Thank
the video's up.
Yep. Well, it looks like y'all are getting pumpkin planting later on today. Probably gonna go run up to the feed store and get us some pumpkin seeds. So it's a little late for that, but I'm gonna try really hard to talk those pumpkins into hurrying up so that we can have them by October. But we'll see.
Put all that love in them, it'll work.
Yeah. Alright. It's time to cover her up and let her do her thing. Might be able to talk Callus into taking me to town instead of me taking myself to town.
Yeah. That way, then they got super
For the record, yes, this is a homemade beeswax wrap. I made a whole bunch of them that day, and guess what? I'm never doing it again. So, we are not getting a video on that. That was one of the most miserable crafts I've ever done in my life.
They were like, okay, now let's go
This is the bread that I made yesterday.
Focaccia.
It turned into focaccia.
To add sesame seeds on the bread.
Can I borrow some money?
Little bag of sesame seeds. I found it the other day. But basically,
And he was like, well, whatever. So that was my oldest daughter. She was telling me about her woes. And y'all, I just have to remind her sometimes that life is hard. Life is hard. It's hard for everyone. It's, especially in the beginning, when you're a young adult trying to do grown-up things, and you know, she's 18, and she was one of those kids that, though she didn't have a bad life here, she just could not wait to get out. So she has a few roommates. Being 18, being a youngin', she's just struggling, struggling with what you actually need, versus what you want to buy. And by the way, I'm making some sourdough noodles. I'm just pulling the recipe straight out of my head. He was asking about, where's your sourdough at? And she said, I killed it. Where's your kombucha at? Again, I killed it. Why are you buying all this frivolous stuff for food when you know we can't afford it? Well, because. So she and I kind of had this conversation, what would make you happier in your new home, in your new to you home? I mean, they're living in an apartment. They're not going to live there for forever. But what is going to make the difference when it comes to what's going on here? Because you can't keep going like this. Nobody can afford this, and you're spending money where we really don't need you to spend money at. And I understand, and I'm really grateful that he had a very brotherly, like, come to Jesus meeting with her, if you will. Because it prompted a good conversation this morning. And, she actually works at a burger joint here in our hometown. She lives in a different town now, but, it's not too far away that she can't make it to work here. So she stops by every day when she's working, and she comes on in and, makes herself right back at home every morning. And I love it. I love it. She did take a hiatus there for a little while where she wasn't working at this job because she made some poor decisions, and then it was just, whatever. 18-year-old poor decisions. I think any of you that are watching, and thinking back to when you were 18, or thinking about your 18-year-old self now. And, a lot of you are here for my shop content. And that's good. I love that. There's actually an extra YouTube channel that we're going to be focusing more on shop content over there. I'm growing. And honestly, if you're not growing, what are you doing? You're staying stagnant and, whatever. So there's probably never going to be a time where I'm not growing. Which ties me back into the conversation that we were having. Thinking back to when I was 18, y'all, I was dumb. I was dumb. I made all the bad decisions. I made all the wrong choices. I just did. Sometimes going backwards and doing what you were doing is exactly what you need to do. Just to remember who you are and where you came from. But, she's gone back to her old job that she had before she moved out. And to me, that's great. I love, love, love her boss. And I'm just really grateful to have someone like that in our lives. He's a good man. And I'm just really grateful he took her back. He and my daughter have been having a lot of conversations about, not making rash decisions. But I don't think she was quite prepared. And none of us were, I don't believe. I don't think any of us were quite prepared for what we were going to be met with when we became adults. 18 is a very young age to decide to jump off and become an adult. I can't believe that it's already been 18 years since I was 18. And, tons of horrible decisions since then. And I'm sure there's going to be more bad decisions that I make. All of that to tie back into the fact that while she was talking, I thought, what would probably make her a lot happier? Some of Mama's sourdough noodles. I'm in no way, shape, or form Italian. And I'm probably doing it all wrong. But it ends up being right for us. And I just thought, this might make her happy. It's mostly half and half. Freshly milled grains with sourdough. And once the dough comes together, which it's very dry, falling apart into the egg container, but it'll come together here in just a minute, just like her life will. It'll come back together, and then we'll have a solidified, a good solid pasta dough that was made with all the love in my heart, that will go back to her house, feed her and her roommates. And right now, this is everything I can do for her. If I had a lot of money, I'd help them out the only way I would know how, And it would still probably be this roll of pasta dough. made with love in your heart, those are the best things to eat. I saw a thing the other day, and I'm starting to get nervous because I'm saying a lot of stuff that I would normally talk to my kids about, you know. But I saw a thing the other day that said, I'm not going to be manifesting, it's only God. And I realized that that's a tricky situation. That's a tricky, not situation, but conversation to have. Remember that God spoke this whole shebang into existence. He thought the world into existence. And then he willed it to become what he wanted it to be. And, you know, there's a scripture that mentions that God is love. And you know, the thing is that I'm not on the bandwagon of everybody is God. But I am on the bandwagon of the fact that scripture tells us that God said, now let us make man in our image, and in our image we shall make him. And then he did. He made us in his image. Then he breathed his breath of life into humanity. A while later, when Jesus comes, Jesus said, now that you have me in your heart, I don't remember what exactly it says. Anyway, I believe that being made in the likeness of God, you know, I think that's a really important thing to remember, you know. And when I'm reading the part about creation and how he built the earth by thinking it into existence, first of all, that's just amazing to me. It is so amazing to me that he willed all of this by simply having a thought and then telling it what to do and making it happen. Have I ever healed anybody by just thinking it into existence? No, because I'm not Jesus. But I did have to learn that essentially God teaches us, and if you read his word, you'll understand this. He teaches us that we can do all things through him, through he who strengthens me. We can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. And when we have Christ at the center of our life, and, you know, we're all guilty of waking up and thinking, ugh, this is going to be an awful day. My back hurts. My feet hurts. Got to go grocery shopping today. Got to go deal with that. This is going to be an awful day. What we fail to realize is that the moment that we said that, we cursed ourselves into having a bad day. Do I realize that spiritual attacks happen? And sometimes, no matter what you do, no matter what you say, no matter what you speak into existence for yourself, it still doesn't go the way you wanted it to. Yeah. No one's perfect. No one's life is perfect. It's not supposed to be. But all of that to tie back into this dough and my daughter struggling in life as an adult, a young adult. One day, her life is going to come together. It's going to come together, and all of this struggle is going to be a memory. And she's going to think back, and she's going to go, oh gosh, I'm so glad we're not there anymore. And her life, though it won't be perfect, will be just like this dough. This dough is not perfect. And it won't be by the time I'm done kneading it. But it will be bouncy. When I push on it, it will bounce back. It'll be strong. It'll be tough. And when I cut them noodles, it's going to be everything that we need it to be. It'll toughen up. It'll harden up. We'll start the water boiling. We'll throw them noodles in there. We'll pour some sauce over the top. And then we'll sit down and eat it. For all of those of you that are struggling out there, I just want to remind you, this dough started out like this. It's falling apart. I'm going to have to sweep here in a minute. It will be annoying. But that's how we all start out. Falling apart. In sin and in strife. Not understanding why. Why are all these things happening to me? Why am I watching my friend down the road do all this stuff and it's just happening for her? I have those thoughts all the time. All the while, I'm over here falling apart like this flour. And all I want to be is cohesive dough. That when you push it, it bounces back. Maybe it bounces back slower than you want it to. But it's strong. You just watch me mill those grains. I added some of this stuff in to make it a little stickier. You know, maybe a little less dense. But all of that to say that in the beginning, your life gets torn apart. I want all of y'all to remember, sometimes when you're really going through it, all that's happening is He's working on you. He's taking you apart. Before I made this, you watched me blast these little tiny seeds into a million pieces. And when we're going through a growing phase, sometimes that's the most important part. That is the most important part. Is to go through that blasting phase so that way, maybe one day your life will go from this to this and then into this. Let God turn you into that. Don't be sad. Don't be dismayed. Do not fear, for He is with you. Understand that He knows what He's doing. Even when you can't understand anything that's going on. You can't see the good in it. You can't see any of that. Just understand, if you're in that growing phase, and I don't care if you're 10, 20, 30, 100 years old. If you're in a growing phase, just remember that as everything is falling apart and turning into powder, maybe you're just becoming a really nice ball of dough. And that's what's going to feed you. That's what's going to keep you nourished. So anyway, that might have been kind of a weird way to put it. But I hope everybody has a blessed day. This is not where I thought this video was going to go. So I guess this is day one of really talking to the camera and getting out of my comfort zone. I hope everybody understood the message. I hope everybody enjoyed it. And I hope that if your life is in shambles, you understand that He's the potter. He's the potter molding the clay. He is all. You know, he's the one, he's the ultimate comforter. He is the ultimate protector and the peacemaker. He is all that. And if you'll just focus on him and keep your focus there, he will use you. Y'all have a blessed day.